Ever wonder what would happen if TikTok famous ghosts were locked in a death match for clout? Dead Talent Society answers that with gore, glitter, and gags. A down-on-her-luck young woman dies tragically and finds herself thrust into the hyper-competitive, cutthroat world of ghost stardom, where specters battle for posthumous fame by haunting the living and climbing the supernatural social ladder. With the help of a washed-up ghost mentor and a jealous romantic interest, she must navigate betrayal, online virality, and metaphysical mayhem in a realm where talent means survival. Directed by Wei Hao Cheng. I've heard rumblings about this movie for months on the internet, and I could not find it anywhere. I looked for torrents, I looked for every way to see this movie, and it just was not on the internet, not any way I could watch it anyway. And this is technically a 2024 film. And all of a sudden, it drops on Netflix with no fanfare. I just saw it on Netflix one day. I'm like, what the hell? And after seeing it, I wasn't sure what to expect, but I can confidently describe it as What We Do in the Shadows meets Kung Fu Hustle. It definitely has that Stephen Chow sort of energy to it, like Kung Fu Hustle, but with it lampooning the Asian horror like What We Do in the Shadows lampooned vampires. The Grudge, The Ring, the hair in front of the face, the croaking, it's all there. It is a horror comedy hybrid. It isn't very scary, but is very funny. I don't think it really should be scary. And maybe the first part of it, because I couldn't get my wife to watch it. I'm like, this is a comedy. And the horror parts that they show on the movie are actually pretty effective, like in the way they're shot, they're structured, just anything you would see in one of these Asian horror films. But it's played for laughs rather than jump scares. And even though all the main characters are dead, the ghosts are fully fleshed, three-dimensional characters. You start out with the legendary Room 414 ghost, and she takes someone under her wing. That person under her wing actually goes viral online with her method and leaves her mentor in the dust. So this movie follows a young girl who is going to be disappearing unless she gets a haunting license. Unfortunately for the girl, she didn't die in any really horrific way, has no trauma, doesn't know how to haunt anyone, and is basically a loser in real life and in the ghost world. So she has to go to the Room 414 ghost and try to learn from her how to haunt before she disappears in 30 days. Because there's also some strong emotional arcs to it. That's probably something that's kind of like missing from What We Do in the Shadows. And these people are not forgetting their past life. There is still some trauma that they have to deal with that. And seeing the main character's arc of feeling just like a loser in her alive life and her dead life. And it's surprisingly strong emotional arcs to this kind of underdog story. And I've already mentioned the way it's shot. It is wildly creative with its visuals and the color. It's almost like they took inspiration from Tim Burton's Beetlejuice from the underworld. It's very stark lights. You got some green, some red. It really gives the movie like a visual flair to it, especially with such energetic cutting of the movie. It doesn't hold back on the visual flair at all. And there is like a meta commentary on fame, and especially fame in online spaces, because this is very much ghosts who are valuing their own significance on the internet, as funny as it is. And it's almost like the pressures after you're dead are the same as the pressures as you're alive. And it does have some heavy gore in some parts of it, and I'm super happy that they didn't hold back from that with this being a comedy at all. It does go full bore on the horror part. Maybe not the scary part, but definitely the horror part. And if you are watching this, just watch the post-credit sequence. There's a post-credit sequence, and it is like probably one of the best I've seen in recent memory. It got me chuckling quite a bit for that. It's very fast-paced, and there's fast-paced dialogue, okay? It can be tough to keep up with the subtitles. Like, we usually eat at the beginning of a movie, and I just couldn't look at my food because I was focusing on the movie. Like, they're talking, and I'm just trying to keep up while eating. And I mean, if you're a speed reader, you probably won't have much of a problem. I don't really have much problem reading subtitles anyway, but it was just so fast paced. I was just trying to keep on track with it because it is world building. So I didn't want to get lost on what the hell was going on, because it does a lot of world building in those like first 10-15 minutes. And with any foreign film, there's certain cultural gags that might flow over like the heads of Western audiences, and that's just a given. And there's some trivia. You know, the title is a play on Dead Poet Society. The director is known for actually darker, just straight horror films like The Tagalong, which explains the effective horror scenes. But it surprised me that they nailed the comedy too. The ghostly social media platform is a parody of Douyin and TikTok, and like I said before, the lighting was heavily inspired by Beetlejuice, but also Hausu. So what did I think of the Dead Talent Society overall? I thought it was brilliant. I think it's like just such a good movie. This is what movies are for. It's a horror comedy that managed to be heartfelt, hilarious, and just very stylish. I just love this movie. And I like, towards the end, you get like a lot of the emotional gut punches of the film, and it had me tear up a little bit. So I'd get this a solid 4.5 out of 5. I'm almost there at a 5. I don't know why I'm not getting a 5, but it's a 4.5 for me for now. And if you like Asian horror or even like horror comedies at all, give this a try. If you dig Kung Fu Hustle or What We Do in the Shadows, absolutely, this is a must watch. Netflix isn't really pushing it out, it seems. So yeah, I would definitely seek this out and watch it as soon as you can. And watch this little gem of a film. But that's my thoughts on Dead Talent Society. Let me know what you thought of Dead Talent Society below. Are you going to watch it? Did you hear about it before, like myself? And let me know some of your favorite horror comedies. Make sure to hit like. It really helps with the algorithm gods. If you like this review, maybe subscribe and watch some of our other reviews. I have a playlist down below. And I'll see you later. Bye.